Reading Myanmar, Symbols, Lesson 3. So here's the next symbol we're going to consider. You'll notice it has two different sizes. That's going to depend on the size of the consonant that it's wrapped around. There's another form of this symbol that appears like this. All three of these produce the same exact sound. So their placement is, in the case of the first two, wrapped around the consonant. In the case of the second style of symbol, it appears to the right of the consonant. The pronunciation for this symbol, when applied with the consonants we're going to consider on this page, it adds a Y sound after the consonant. So the Romanized form in both the language app and the dictionary adds a Y to the right of the consonant. Its usage is moderate, and again we see it has two different forms and two sizes of that first form. Here are some examples of words that use this symbol. The word for many, mya, mya. The word for show, pya, pya. And the word for earth, mye, mye. So we added to the right of the symbol that Y letter. Here's an example from the language app. It is the word for many people under the heading presenting a topic. So there's the symbol you're going to be looking for. Next, we're going to take these same three symbols, but we're going to use them with these two consonants. You may recall their sounds are ka and ga, very similar sounding consonants. And in fact, when they're combined with these symbols, they're going to produce virtually the same sound. Their placement is, once again, either wrapped around the consonant or to the right of the consonant. With this first consonant on the left, you can see why it's going to require a bigger form of that first style of symbol. Its pronunciation is like the letter J in just. But now the Romanized form on both the language app and the dictionary could be a little confusing. On the language app, you're going to see it symbolized by the letters KY or GY. In the dictionary, they're going to use the letter J or a modified J, which has a little pigtail at the bottom. The tail of that J wraps around in a little pigtail. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's very difficult for me to hear the difference in those two sounds, and I just pronounce these using the J sound, and I'm understood. So don't fret. I think it's a little confusing, those two different forms. It merely makes a J sound. Its usage is moderate, and again, as before, it has two different forms and two sizes of that first form. So let's look at some examples of words that use these consonant symbol combinations. The first is the word for to hear, ja, ja, and the word for wheat, jon, jon, the word for big, G, G. From the language app, I've selected the word for the Great Tribulation under the heading The Last Days and Armageddon. So there you can see the symbol used at the first. Listen to its sound on the language app with this and some of the examples that I've used previously. Next, we're going to take these same symbols, although we only need the smaller form of the first one, and we're going to add it to this letter, which you may recall is pronounced ka, ka. We're going to take the symbol and again either wrap it around this consonant or place it to the right of the consonant, and that's going to produce the sound CH, as in the word chop. And so both on the language app and the dictionary, it's represented by the letters CH. Its usage is moderate, and we'll again note that it has two different forms, but the pronunciation is the same. For instance, the word for praise, chi, chi, the word for foot, che, je, and the word for rule, ocho, ocho. So from the language app, we've found a word in the sections of literature portion of our language app. The word for footnote actually uses both forms of the symbol used with this particular consonant. Listening to it closely, I think you'll hear the CH sound clearly. And that finishes this lesson.